Hello and welcome to Quirky Cat Crafts. This is Sherry. Okay, you guys, just want to kind of give you an update on my Eeyore project. So, these are the swirly filler tiles I did on the last video. And I think they came out really good. And I think they are a pretty good match to Eeyore. I also did the stamp of Eeyore and I colored it with mica powders. And then I found this stamp in my stash of like an arched bridge. And the artwork for the Disney Winnie the Pooh movie has the characters going over an arched bridge like this. So, these are my two stamped items. And then the other two stamped items that I'm going to be using are his name and the quote. So there's his name and the quote. Could be worse, not sure how, but it could be. So then here's the situation. If I go with the smaller glass planter pencil cup thing, like the quote, I mean, it fits. It's just hangs off the edge just a little bit. I don't have any more space I can trim off this side, but this side, if I trim, I'm going to be getting rid of the periods at the end of the two sentences. And also, it's not leaving me a lot of room for other tiles. So I think I'm going to go back to using the bigger planter, right? So then, that'll be the quote in, the middle, and then there will be various tiles and whatnot all the way around. So I think we're going to go with the bigger one. Okay. So I've decided, even though I have 4 stamped items, 2 of them are words and 2 of them are colored with mica powders. So I consider those different. So I want to do, because I want one Eeyore on each side. And then I would want a second stamped image, a second shoe charm, a second button, and a second sticker. So you guys already saw these if you watched the previous video. So I've got the 100-acre wood sign. I've got the cloud button, which may or may not get used because I think I'm going to. I mean, I had the little pink bow, but since I decided I'm going to do bows for the leafing, I don't think I want to use that as the button. And then I've just got these pink and purple flowers that go with the Eeyore sticker set. So there will be 2 stickers, 2 buttons, 2 shoe charms, and 2 stamped. So I'm going to have 1 Eeyore on each side, right? So it'll be a sticker and a button or a stamp or a shoe charm. And I'll get that figured out when I get closer to having more tiles made and whatnot. So, because I'm still kind of up in the air on what I'm probably going to use green. But see, then I've got the cloud. And that's what's throwing me for a loop, because my OCD brain will not let me put a cloud on green clay. It would need to be on blue. Could I do the sign and the sticker on blue? The sign, yes. The sticker, no. So I could do blue, blue. And maybe green foam for the 2 stickers. I don't know. So I'm still so up in the air with this, you guys. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. With what color clays, other colors of clay I'm going to use. So, but I did decide I want to do pink leafing to tie in his pink bow. And also the pink words. So, so this is black Craft Smart clay. I like to use it with the leafing because it is sticky enough to hold the leafing really well to the clay. It's also cheaper than the Primo. Sculpey doesn't cut very well after baking, and with foil leafing, when you're going to want to be trimming it down after baking, you want to have a clay that's easier to cut after baking. And I have found that the Craft Smart Black brand works really well. So I have this stamp that I found in my stash. And I'm probably just going to, once I put the leafing down on the clay, I don't know if I'm going to try and like line them up or whether I'm just going to do them. That's probably what I'm going to do, is just every which way. So, on the pink leafing, I just wanted to see how it looked. That's every which way. Because if I try to line it up, oops, I'm going to get out of alignment and it's going to drive me nuts. See? So I think I'm better off just turning. I'm not going to overlap, but like, yeah, I like that. All right. Anywho, so I pulled out my colored leafing, which I got off of Amazon, and it is designed for manicures, like nail decoration. So I have it in a bunch of different colors. So there's actually 2 different sets of hot pink in here, but they're very similar. So I put them together. But we're going to pull these out because they look like they're different a little bit. So, and this is, so these are the hot pink. Yeah, and I've got like 20 some colors of leafing. So, all right, so we're going to, what I've learned with the leafing is, so we're going to pull it out. We're going to open the paper, right? And then we put the clay on it instead of trying to lay that flat on the clay. That's how you end up with like wrinkles and stuff. So, and you just got to be decisive. Drop it down and don't hesitate. And there we've got some pink leafing. And we'll go ahead and do a second one. I'll give it a roll with my rolling pin here in just a second. And then we'll go from there. And then I have a truck driving story for you guys. Which is something that I hope people will learn from my almost mistake and not do the same thing I almost did. We'll get to that in just a minute, though. I'm going to get this kerplunked. I'm going to give it a roll. Okay. All right, you guys. So the other day, it was a beautiful sunny day. You know, roads were dry. The sun was shining. Not a lot of traffic. I was rolling along in my semi. And I see up ahead, quite a distance up ahead, red and blue flashy lights on the right shoulder. Which, of course, 99% of the time, especially with it being on the right shoulder, it's probably just a police officer with a vehicle pulled over. So I immediately signal and start to go to the left lane, which is where all the traffic in front of me was going. And again, not a lot of traffic, okay? Then I see another police car come out of the center median on the highway and cut across both lanes and pull up behind the other officer on the shoulder, okay? So I'm not going to lie, that distracted me a little bit. So I was focused on the red and blue flashing lights as I was finishing my lane change to go to the left lane. And then my eyes came back to the left lane in time to see that the left lane traffic was not moving at all. Complete standstill. Now I had at most 1 second to react because I was still cruising along at the truck stop's top speed, which is 65 miles an hour. I had not completed my merge to the left lane yet, so I immediately went back to the right lane. A little bit of a swerve, but it was kind of what I call a controlled swerve back to the right lane, and I started braking. It wasn't a slam on the brakes because there wasn't any traffic in the right lane. It had already all merged over to the left. So I had all the room in the world to come to a controlled stop. Had I stayed in the left lane, it went car, semi, car, and then 3 semis. If I had hit the back of that car doing 65 miles an hour, there's very little doubt that anybody in that vehicle would have been killed. And then if I would have hit the back of the stop semi, which is what would have happened with me doing 65 miles an hour, I would have decimated the car and slammed into the back of that stop semi at pretty much top speed. And odds are that would have killed me. It definitely would have injured me severely. Definitely. Because trucks are not designed with driver safety in mind. They are designed to be as lightweight as possible. Because the lighter the truck, the more weight the company can put in the trailer, and the more money they make. And sadly, it's more about the company making money than driver safety. So if you've ever seen pictures or videos or driven past an accident with a semi and you see how it's just in absolute pieces, it's because the truck is primarily plastic and fiberglass. Anyway, so I almost had what would have been in 13 years of driving by far the worst. I've had a couple of accidents in my 13 years of driving. I hydroplaned and went into the ditch one time. And I had a car trying to speed past me that I didn't see because he wasn't driving with his headlights on. And I kind of gave him a little bump side swipe and that spun him out. But that's the worst of it. This would have been, it would have been really bad, you guys. It would have been really, really bad. And I'm not going to lie, it scared about 10 years off my life. For real. Because I am a very, very careful driver. Not because of my driving skills, but because of the lack of driving skills of those around me. And so I'm always very aware of what's going on around me. And I do not know what it was that day, why I was so distracted by the red and blue lights. Because most of the time when a police officer has a car pulled over on the right shoulder, the left lane doesn't even slow down. And if it is, it's slowing down. It's still going to be going faster than my semi, which can only do 65. That's the top speed that the semi can go. And so, you know, you just get over to the left lane and you go on by, and then you get back to the right lane and you carry on down the road. But so I don't know. Maybe it was the police officer coming out of the center median that distracted me enough. I would like to say that none of the semis or cars had their flashers on. And I don't know that that would have helped me, but it possibly would have. I can say that it didn't help me at all that none of them had their flashers on. And so here is my Sherry's driving lesson for the day. 2 points. 1, when you see flashing red and blue lights, don't focus so much on those vehicles that you lose track of what's going on in all the other lanes of traffic. Make sure you're still paying attention. And 2, if you are on a highway where other drivers are going to expect traffic to be moving along and something is happening that's causing traffic to either slow way down or come to a complete stop, please put your flashers on. It may not help, but it's definitely not going to hurt. And I would think anybody, especially in a car, would want to make sure that any vehicles coming up behind them have as much warning as possible that traffic is coming to a stop. All right? So those are Sherry's driving tips for the day for y'all. Okay, so I meant to tell that story while I was stamping out my little bows, but quite frankly, I was very focused on telling the story. So, and I don't say that to you guys to like upset you or scare you or anything like that. Just know that I am as careful as it's possible for me to be, okay? But everybody has their moments, and that was my moment. So just be aware. Pay attention. Because I wasn't even doing anything to distract me, you guys. All right? I wasn't. I don't when I'm driving the truck. You know, I'm not messing with my phone. I'm not messing with the radio. I'm not anything that could potentially distract me. Because I don't want to live with the guilt of hurting somebody. So, all right. So that's pretty much what I have to say about that. What are you guys thinking of my little bow texture here? I think on the other sheet I'm going to start in the middle and work my way out. But this will still work. It will still work. So, and I'm going to bake it as the full sheet. Of course, I'm going to trim off the excess here as soon as I get it lifted up off my cutting board. I think that's going to be really cute. Sorry if my head's in there. Anyway, Garfield is currently on the floor pouting. I can't make it any easier for him, you guys. I actually moved this little nightstand. I feel like I have room for a bow there. It's going to overlap a little bit, but that's better than having a big open gap, I think. Anyway, on the other side of my work table, so that he has a step to get up to the cat tree that I have put in here. It's not where I wanted it, but I'm trying to keep him off my work table. And he's just being really, really, really difficult with his wanting to be up here. It's driving me bananas. All right, we're going to start in the middle on this one and work our way out. I'm probably going to do a third one. Getting hungry. I made steak and buttered noodles and vegetable medley yesterday, and I have some left over. And the new episode for Leverage Redemption is out tonight, which is, I think, the final episode of the season. But while I've been waiting for that, I thought, you know what? Let's go back and rewatch some of season 1. And I don't think I watched season 1 of Leverage Redemption, you guys, because none of these episodes are ringing a bell for me at all. So I'm a little confused by that. Very, very strange. So I've been watching, I would say rewatching, but like I said, none of it's ringing a bell. I am a Christian Kane fan from way back. Many, 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 many years ago. When I first discovered him. But yeah. I've watched the first, 4 episodes, and none of them are ringing a bell. So, It's very weird. Not quite sure how that happened. I do not know. So, but my laundry is done. Kitchen's clean. Trash was taken out. Litter boxes are scooped. I've done some more unpacking in my craft room. I got my wood-mounted stamps sorted back into my rolly shoe cart. I know I said I wasn't going to overlap them, but this one I feel like there's just too much open space. No. I call it good. I think it's cute. What do you guys think? So, I guess the title of this video will be foil leafing filler. I don't know, you guys. I have given up on becoming a influencer, because I mean, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers, and I finally broke 400, but it's like I'm losing subscribers and I'm not sure why. But you have to have 1,000 subscribers before you can monetize, and I don't think I want to do that anymore. When I first started doing videos, it was with the intention of, you know, sharing my joy of this craft, but also if YouTube was going to pay me, a couple cents for every view, I wasn't going to say no to that. But I've been seeing all these horror stories from people that this is like how they support their families, and like rules or something has been changing to the point where, they're having a lot of trouble getting paid the way they're supposed to, and I don't need that added stress in my life, so I don't really worry about it anymore. And the other reason I started this channel was to hopefully meet other people that like to do mixed media mosaics and make some new friends where we can share some ideas and inspiration and support and that kind of thing. So, oops. And there are a few of you that take the time to comment, and I appreciate it. But I don't want to be one of those people that's constantly like, make sure you comment and like and subscribe and blah, blah, blah. So, but I hope everybody that's watching enjoys what they're watching, because that's really my main point of just sharing the joy, how much I love to make these mosaics and create these tiles and where I get the inspiration from. And so I just want to share that with everybody else. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I enjoy doing them. Whether people enjoy watching them or not, I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't really care. Just kind of something I do for you all, but also for myself. So, does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense or not. Bless it. All right, I think that's good enough. And I don't know if I want to do a 4th sheet or not. Guess it's just going to depend on whether I have enough clay. I think 3 is going to be enough. I think we're going to call it good. So, anyway, so I'm going to get these in my oven and go down and eat something and watch my next episode of Leverage Redemption and relax for the rest of the night because I am back to work tomorrow. But yeah, I really can't decide what to do. In regards to, sorry, come on. There we go. I was trying to close my wipies. So, but anyway, but I really don't know what I want to do for the stickers and buttons and croc shoe charms. I really don't know. I don't know why I don't know, but I just don't know. So if anybody has any ideas. The other issue is my Eeyore sticker is so big. He's so cute. That I don't have a mirror tile that he'll fit on. I mean, the mirror tile that he'll fit on is substantially bigger. So it'd be a waste of space. I might have chipboard pieces that I could paint and then decoupage him to. But like I said, it's like everything except for the cloud can be done on green. So maybe I need to get rid of the cloud because that's what's throwing me. And go back to, where'd it go? I don't know where it went. And go back to just the pink bow. Even though I'm using pink bows on the leafing, just go back to that. And then I can do all of them on green. I think that's probably what I'm going to do because it was the cloud that was really kind of throwing me. I mean, I could do this on blue and just like, and do this on blue and then just change this to maybe like a butterfly sticker or something. And then I could do these 3 on a blue and do those on green. All right, you guys, tell me what you think. Do Eeyores just on green and these 3 on blue? Or get rid of the cloud, do the bow, and do a green for all 6. Tell me what you guys think, even though I just got done saying I'm not a comment person, but I really value you guys' input and opinions and perspectives. So let me know what you think. All right, I'm going to get these pink bows into my toaster oven. What do you guys think? I think I might need to come back and do more on this. Well, see, this one's like a bunch. These 2 are more. I'm just going to bake them. I'm just going to bake them the way they are. All right, you guys. That's all I got for right now. Thanks for listening to me ramble and for joining me. And until next time, thanks so much for watching.